In the headlines, 2 drown after boat capsizes, Astafan for continued agitation for tabling of monk, SKSPA maintenance worker died from traumatic shock, Saul begins modernization work at F&H Frisco, and in sports, the Charles E. Mills Secondary School win TDC Interschool Championships for the 21st time. With the news, here is Samantha Allen.
A large crowd flocked to the Port Zante Marina yesterday afternoon, April 2nd, as news of the drowning of 2 men spread through the island. Providing more details on this story, here is SKNVibes editor Terry McCall.
A police press release identifies the victims as Rudolph Dowell of Ponds Extension, an employee of the St. Christopher A&C Ports Authority, SKSPA, and Maxwell Brown of New Road, an employee of SL Hosfors and Company Limited, and it explained that the incident occurred at about 5:15 p.m. in the berthing area. Information reaching this publication suggests that the men were assisting with the unberthing process of one of the 2 cruise ships docked at Port Zante at that time. This media house understands that they were loosing the ropes which anchored one of the vessels when some type of difficulty was experienced, which led to their boat being capsized. The communique declared that the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force Coast Guard, and SKSPA are jointly conducting investigations into the matter. Tempers flared at the scene, with some family members begging to enter the area to view their relatives, requests which were eventually granted by the police. The men were pronounced dead by District Medical Officer Dr. Laws, and sometime during the evening, both bodies were removed from the scene by the Jenkins Funeral Home.
While he admittedly does not expect the motion of no confidence to be tabled and debated in the federal parliament, a former parliamentarian is advising that those calling for the speedy tabling should not relent in their agitation efforts. With more on this story, here is Terry McCall.
Since its filing on December 11, 2012, members of Her Majesty's Lawyer Opposition and others have made repeated calls for the motion's tabling through court and protest action and seeking help or intervention from the regional community. Former parliamentarian G.A. Dwyer Astafan, during a recent interview with this publication, declared that those who have been agitating are right in doing so.
The demands for it to be called are well grounded in the Constitution, in parliamentary practice, in the principles of good governance, and in simple ethics and morality. It is the right thing to do. It is the mandate of those in authority to do, and not doing so is breaching people's constitutional rights.
Stefan explained that in St. Kitts and Nevis, the people have 2 opportunities to appoint or remove a government by voters on election day and through a monk.
In our system, the people get 2 chances to appoint or to remove a government. One is directly by the voters on election day, and the other is by the voters through their parliamentary representatives in the form of a motion of no confidence at any time between one election day and the other. And not to hold the motion is to deprive the people and, in the process, the democracy of that choice in between elections, which is simply and utterly unacceptable in any modern democracy and enlightened society.
Astafan suggested that those who continue to agitate, had they not agitated in the first instance, would have been just as guilty as who is perpetrating the wrong. And his advice to those individuals and groups is to continue agitating on those issues, but do so within the law, adding that the regional and international communities are more aware of the local situation.
An autopsy performed on the body of Askio Farrell, a former worker of the St. Christopher A&C Ports Authority, concluded that he died from traumatic shock. For more on this story, here is Janice Valance Isaac.
A police release stated that the post-mortem examination was performed on Sunday, March 30th, by resident pathologist who concluded that death was as a result of traumatic shock, which resulted from multiple thoracic fractures. The 31-year-old Farrell, also known as Askio Jeffers and Rash Jarrett of West Farm, was discovered dead in the elevator shaft at the Robert Llewellyn-Vacher International Airport on Sunday. A friend of the late St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority employee told SKNVibes that after completing repairs to the escalator in the arrival hall of the airport on Friday afternoon, Farrell was asked to take a look at the elevator before retiring for the day. The friend also said that Farrell had contacted his girlfriend and requested that she pick him up from work around 6 p.m., but when she got there, he could not have been located. He added that as the night progressed, relatives became worried as calls to the maintenance man's phones were not answered and employees from the airport had no knowledge of where he was. SKNVibes learned that family members had reported him missing to the police on Sunday morning, and it is believed that he was crushed between the outside of the elevator and the wall of the shaft.
We are joined again by Mrs. Isaac, who reports that the modernization work at the now suspended F&H Frisco gas station has started with the company removing the pumps and the canopy.
Sol, the premier supplier of petroleum products to the Caribbean basin, has commenced upgrading works of the gas facility at F&H Frisco service station. SKNVibes Business made a spot check on Monday, March 31st, and noticed that workers had already removed the canopy with the pumps and are currently working to have the underground electrical pipes removed. According to Sol's operations supervisor, Dennis Ferdinand, this is part of the upgrading and modernization process of the service station. In a recent interview, Ferdinand told SKNVibes Business that the station will be closed for a period of time as the parent company, Sol, undertakes maintenance work on old pipes and lines, which have been at the location for a number of years. F&H Frisco is one of several service stations that are up for maintenance work, Ferdinand revealed. He noted that currently Sol is in the process of reopening another of its stations, which is down for maintenance and upgrades. However, owner of the F&H Frisco service station, Sylvester Fraser, has raised concerns about the suspension of gas to his station, noting that he has lost significant amounts of business due to the suspension and also with the soon-to-be-completed roundabout construction at the Kim Collins Highway. He stated that due to the suspension of gas operations at the outlet, he may have to shed staff to keep afloat. The upgrading process is expected to take several months to complete, and customers of the service station are asked to use other Sol outlets.
1 week after the Sandy Point Primary School emerged victors of the Rams Primary School Championships, their colleagues from the Charles E. Mills Secondary School were once again crowned TDC Inter-School Champions to secure a Sandy Point sweep at both scholastic meets. Details on this story are provided by sports reporter LaShawn Dixon.
The three-day championships, which ended on Sunday at the Silver Jubilee Stadium, saw Sem's Eagles flying away with the title for the 21st time with a whopping 26 gold medal haul and beating defending champions Washington Archibald High School into second place with 14. Starting the final day with a 9 gold medal lead, Sems didn't surrender their position despite slight challenges from Washington Archibald and Charlestown Secondary. Carifta-bound athlete Crystal Libert of Sems was named Victrix Lodorum for the second straight year after accumulating 48 points by winning the girls under 18 long jump, high jump, 200 meters, 100 meters, and was a member of the winning 4x400 meters and 4x100 meters relay. Nathaniel Huggins, another Carifta-bound athlete also of Sems, was declared Victor Lodorum after he won the under-20 boys long jump, placed second in the javelin throw and high jump, and was clipped on the line in the 110-meter hurdles and the 100-meter dash. 9 schools participated in the championships, with Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College taking 3rd position, Charlestown Secondary 4th, Verchilds High 5th, and Bastia High 6th.
Hello, I am SKNVibes weather reporter Melissa Matthew with the St. Kitts and Nevis weather forecast. Relatively dry and stable conditions will continue to linger across most of the Leeward Islands today and tonight. Today's pressure is near normal. Partly sunny skies with an isolated afternoon showers possible. Temperatures will be around mid-20s with highs of 28 degrees Celsius and lows of 22 degrees Celsius. Winds
East northeast at 6 to 12 knots with lighter spells overnight. Seas slight swells 1 meter or 3 feet. This evening will be fair and cool. Sunset today 6:25 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow 6:03 a.m. with some isolated showers. Temperatures will be around the mid-20s with highs of 28 degrees Celsius and lows of 23 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeast at 6 to 12 knots with light spells overnight. Here is your 5-day weather forecast. I am Melissa Matthew and that was your SKNVibes weather forecast.